Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the 2009 British Fighting Championship draw. My name is Tony Lee from Cage Warriors Canada.
Harvey Hara
Number 2.
versus Ian Butlin. Paul Jenkins
Number 1.
versus Sammy Berwick. My name's Jeremy Bailey, I'm reporting for the BFC, and I'm joined today by a man that many of you may not know the face of, will have had emails from, and will definitely know the voice of, commentated on many shows up and down the country, and also a major player in the Cage Warriors and Warrior promotions. It's Ian Dean.
Thanks, Jeremy.
So Ian, in connection with this BFC, could you tell us a little bit about how you're involved in it and basically your ideas, and what do you think about the whole promotion?
I think the BFC is a fantastic concept. I think for years in the UK scene, many guys have been talking about promotions coming together, people working together, trying to promote the scene. And, right now, you've got 5 separate promotions, and I think it's amazing that after so many years, people are working together, and I think it can only be beneficial for UK MMA.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Mark Weir
Number 2.
versus Alex Reed. We're looking to really put on some BFC super fights. Do you think that we might possibly see you in those, or would you look forward to taking part in that?
Absolutely, I'd love to be involved. I'd really like to see that happen. So yeah, very much so. I think, like I say, we've got some great women training with us. I know there's some great women out there in the rest of the country, and I'd like to see those matchups. I think that would be good for everyone.
We have Paul Cahoon
Number 5.
versus Jose Z. Marcelo. My name's Jeremy Bailey, and today I'm joined at the BFC by Ian M16 Butlin, who apparently has got the matchup of his dreams. Can you tell us who you've been matched against?
Yeah, I've been matched with Harvey Hara from Birmingham, and I'm going to smash him.
I understand you guys have some form of history. Care to elaborate?
Yeah, we fought once back in 2006. The fight ended with my brother pulling me out by injury, so I just want to get a proper conclusion. This time I want the conclusion to be in my favour.
Gene Silva,
Number 4.
Ashley Grimshaw. Dave Lee
Number 7.
versus Jordan Miller. So Mark, I understand you're going to be reffing the bouts on the BFC. Is there one standard set of rules, or all the promotions that make up the BFC, do they use their own?
No, there will definitely be a standard. There has to be a standard set of unified rules across all BFC bouts.
Will you be doing all of the refereeing yourself, or are there other referees coming on board, and who makes that choice?
Ultimately, I do look after that side of the business, as it were, rules, regulations and officials, but part of the development of this, not just for the fighters, it's for the official side as well. So we're looking to bring on new referees, judges, timekeepers, officials into that side of the sport.
And the question I have for the panel, gentlemen, is what is the BFC in comparison to the UFC? Can you explain a little bit about the organization and what it basically is in comparison to some of the organizations such as the UFC?
The BFC was set up originally to give UK fighters a chance to see who is the number one. It's a UK-based show, and hopefully it'll give them a platform to move on to bigger shows like the UFC. It'll also give you companies who are out all over the world a grading system for UK fighters. The BFC is a Grand Prix, so it'll be every year, so there'll only be one winner. That winner will not carry on till next year, but it will be the winner of the 2009 series. 2010, we go through it all again. It also gives chance for unknown fighters to come forward and put themselves forward and give them a chance to get onto the bigger scene.
I think it's been long overdue. A lot of the lads in the UK have actually made it as far as obviously the biggest show in the world, the UFC. It's been a long, hard road for them, a long, hard slog, and it's been a hell of a learning experience for them. Also, I think that the way the format is, you've always had in the country since the conception of MMA, you've had who's been a northern fighter, he stayed on a northern circuit, who's been a southern fighter, stayed on a southern circuit. With the BFC travelling around the UK, there's no more hiding the fighters anymore. They have to come out, they have to represent, and we're going to get who is the true best at that time. Obviously, the better lads move on to the bigger shows, but it's a lot easier to identify the best fighters in each weight.
So any other questions?
I think this is a great platform for a lot of fighters to be able to get that recognition. We've got a lot of smaller shows, and there needs to be something sort of sitting at the top of those shows. It's a stepping stone really to fighting internationally, and this is going to be a great opportunity, as you said, for a lot of the unknown fighters out there, a lot of talented guys out there that just aren't getting a chance. This is going to give it to them.
And we also know that a lot of the athletes that are fighting in the BFC are experienced. How important is it for some of the experienced athletes to be involved with the organization and the growth of the organization?
I think I touched on this earlier. You know, I suppose we can liken it to an FA Cup scenario. You know, that's the beauty of a draw. That's the beauty of a tournament. You have established, big-hitting, big names, and then you also have the grassroots level. And these are the guys that come through inevitably and make their name. You know, as I say, that's what this tournament was about. There was no prejudice. There was no bias. It was open to anyone with any experience to apply. Those fighters have obviously been whittled down and selected into the pools, and you know, if you're not in it, you can't win it, and it's simply there for the taking. There's big names, and there's people, as I say, that aren't very well known, but I'm sure this tournament is definitely going to make some stars of tomorrow.
Hi, this is Jeremy Bailey here, reporting for BFC. I'm now joined by Brian Elliott here, who's an MMA journalist. Brian, could you tell us what sort of thing you are looking forward to in this event?
Well, with the BFC, it's just fantastic that all the promoters, all the main promoters in British MMA are coming together. I think we're finally going to see a real push by British MMA to get onto the international scene. It's going to be good for everyone.
Can you tell us a little bit about the selection process in each and every category, just to clarify on how that selection was made?
Obviously, due to the volume of names that were put forward when the BFC was first announced, the guys that you see up here now, obviously we acted as a panel and basically selected the fighters that were in there. It wasn't so much a first come, first served basis, but obviously there was a cut-off point. Obviously those that were after that cut-off point will have to apply next year on the next season. So many guys came in. It was, you know, it was hard picking, and there's been a lot of meetings, a lot of hours, a lot of discussions, but we basically picked them between us to make it as fair as we could. So there was no sort of set favourites, and we took a vote. Obviously worked on a democratic vote to obviously get those guys into those categories. We sort of deemed that as being the fairest way to do it.
Yeah, I think there was a lot of gasps and a lot of cheers when some of them draws. The two standout ones for me is Ian Butling and Harvey Harrer. Both these guys have fought before. I know there's a lot of history there, and it's going to make for a great match. And the second one, probably the biggest one, was Mark Weir and Alex Reid. And again, you know, I think people fainted at the back. You know, again, there's a lot of excitement for that match. I mean, anyone who was around long enough to see their first encounter, the pace of that match at the start, you know, it was ridiculous. And I think both guys are going to be very satisfied and very happy that they're going to get the chance to meet again. Where they're going to be staged, you know, that's yet to be decided, but that's the beauty of a draw. It's thrown up some absolutely corking matches, and we're going to look forward to them.
Yeah, the BSC itself, we're holding the venues, I mean, literally all around the UK. We've got a great footprint around the UK. I mean, London, Reading, Southend, Cardiff, Coventry, Birmingham, Manchester, Doncaster, Sunderland, Belfast, Glasgow. We're going to be all around the country. So there's going to be a BFC show close to all of you, basically. So the fights will be spread around those shows. So yeah, we're literally going to have the whole footprint around the UK.